Let's go to Atlanta, Georgia now, where we have Christopher Bruce, a political strategist and civil rights advocate. Very good to have you on the program. So just looking at the outcome here, Republicans versus Democrats, did either one come out sort of on the winning side?
Well, thank you for having me. And let me be very clear about this. No one won on this type of situation. In fact, the American people saw two bickering parties who shut down the government for 43 days when SNAP benefits, where people were not getting fed, airlines were being delayed and canceled, and the work of the government was not being done. So Democrats lost because Democrats showed again that they cannot stick with a promise to fight Republicans. Republicans lost because Republicans are in charge. They have the White House, they have the House of Representatives, and they have the Senate. So they are the governing party. And while people are always telling Democrats are not allowing for the shutdown, Republicans could have opened up the government themselves. The filibuster is not a law. The filibuster is a rule that the Senate goes by with 60 votes. However, you really do not need 60 votes. You need 50 plus one. So Republicans have failed in that part of it. But when it comes down to it, the American people are the biggest losers of this bickering fight.
Well, considering that, the millions of Americans who've been forced to work without pay, millions of Americans having their flights canceled, how is all this going to affect the upcoming midterms?
Americans have a short memory, but also a long grudge. And what I mean by that, there are going to be other issues that, as you know, President Trump is going to bring up. He has to be the most dramatic president in our nation's history. So there's going to be other issues that are going to come up. But people are going to remember when their bills for any and everything dealing with healthcare are still at skyrocketing premiums. That is going to hurt the American people. And if the American people are doing anything right now, as we've seen in the past election, affordability is the number one issue that Americans are dealing with. So they are going to have a long-term memory when it comes to that. And when it comes to SNAP benefits and everything else, they are going to look at who's in charge and try to find another solution. And that could be Democrats if they stand strong. But Democrats have to come with a clear message of being the affordable party and not the party of skyrocketing health premiums.
So just looking at the Democrats, I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we had this big win. Zohran Mamdani winning New York, for example. They won a bunch of governor races as well. But now you had those 8 Democrats breaking ranks, voting with Republicans. Does the Republican, or rather the Democratic Party, appear to be weakened following all this?
Absolutely. And by weekend, we mean with the American people and the public. Like you said before. Now, New York's an outsider type of situation. New York does not determine American politics. That is a progressive city with a new progressive mayor-elect with Mamdani. So those type of policies may not go into effect as far as a running platform for Democrats. However, his messaging was very clear. And that's why he won. He said he wanted affordability for people to ride trains for free and dealing with any and everything with healthcare and fighting Donald Trump. Very clear message that I can recite even to this day. Winning Virginia and New Jersey with the governors sent a message for Democrats that Democrats are going to look good in the 2026 election. But like you said, 8 Democrats in the Senate breaking away from the promise that Democrats are going to fight really brings up old wounds of people not being faithful to the Democratic Party and the Democratic Party not being faithful to the people that they claim to serve. However, if you look deeper into it, those 8 Democrats are not up for re-election anytime soon. So we will see again how far the memories of Americans go when it comes to holding those Democrats accountable for breaking with their ranks and striking this deal.
Christopher Bruce in Atlanta, thank you so much for your time and analysis here on TRT World.